Hello and welcome to the 11th Annual San Diego Wish Peace and Humanity Day Ceremony. I'm actor Kiki Skezane and your host for today. We would like to thank you for of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombings and to seek international goodwill. Our first speaker is Mr. Mike Kawamura. Mr. Kawamura is a Hiroshima survivor and has spent over 50 years spreading the message of tolerance, understanding, and peace between nations. In 1969, Mr. Kawamura joined Kyocera Corporation in Kyoto. He is now known as one of the five samurais, the original pioneers who established Kyocera's North American manufacturing operations in San Diego. He has recently retired and serves in many community organizations. He is executive advisor for San Diego Wish. We will now go to Mr. Kawamura's pre-recorded opening speech.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well and safe during these uncertain and unprecedented times. Thank you for joining us for the 11th International Peace and Humanity Day ceremony. We'd like to take a moment to thank community individuals and organizations whose cooperation has helped make this year's program possible. During this moment of world uncertainty, the support and advocacy for international peace and mutual understanding from San Diego-Yokohama Sister City Society, Japanese Friendship Garden of San Diego, Port of San Diego, Japan Society of San Diego and Tijuana, Kyocera, Union Bank, Kamatech, the San Diego Union Tribune, UU Magazine, Lighthouse Magazine, and Gunzo is greatly appreciated. We hope this program will further promote these ideas and ring in a brighter and more compassionate future. San Diego Wish was established in 2010 by Dr. Mike Inoue, former Honorable Consul General of Japan in San Diego, Dr. Akiko Mikamo, Mr. Kiyoshi Murakami, and myself. Our mission is to work towards the creation of a safer world for future generations and educate people to live in harmony. We have been holding World Peace Ceremony at San Diego-Yokohama Friendship Bell in a beautiful shelter island on August 5th every year for last 10 years. Many local dignitaries have been attending this ceremony. We ring the Friendship Bell and pray for world peace at 4:15 p.m. on August 5th, which is 8:15 a.m. on August 6th in Japan. It was the time an atomic bomb was dropped over the city of Hiroshima, and another was dropped over the city of Nagasaki on August 9th. It was 75 years ago. At that time, I lived in Hiroshima, and I am a survivor of Hiroshima atomic bomb. Although I am a survivor, I was so young, I don't remember much. However, I do remember one moment that my grandmother was carrying me, and we looked up to the sky in the evening. It was bright red. It was a horrible red sky. That red sky is etched in my mind and has been throughout my life. I believe it was evening when the atomic bomb was dropped. In Hiroshima, there is a little mountain called Hijiyama on the east side of the city. The atomic bomb was dropped on the west side of Hijiyama, and I was living on the east side. Fortunately, because of this, I did not receive any direct blast from the bomb, although I was only 1.8 miles from the epicenter. My father, mother, and I originally lived in the center of Hiroshima, not far from epicenter. But my mother had died 2 weeks prior to the bomb due to tuberculosis. She was only 26 years old. Because of her death, my father and I moved to the east side of Hijiyama, where my grandmother lived. My grandmother took care of me then. My father was a design engineer for a national railway at that time. He worked in an office near the epicenter. On the morning of August 6th, he pulled a cigarette out of his pocket and started to light it as many Japanese men did before starting work. However, somehow the cigarette slipped from his fingers, fell to the floor, and rolled under his desk. He stooped down underneath the desk to pick it up. At that moment, a strong light filled the room with a tremendous sound as destruction suddenly erupted throughout the city. He was not sure what had happened. He initially thought that a big bomb had hit his building. Miraculously, he was unharmed. Immediately, he tried to save as many people as possible, working continuously for many days without sleep. Many years later, my father explained to me about his experience and told me that he truly believed my mother, through her death, had saved both of us. Had she lived, the three of us would have continued living in the center of the city and would not have survived the bomb. I would probably not be here today speaking to all of you. Unfortunately, I lost one of my cousins in the atomic blast. She was a 16 years old high school student and was killed with her classmate in school. I also lost several friends due to leukemia during my elementary school days. This is a photo with my father. I was 5 years old. I was a cute little boy. I still remember this moment. When I was 6 years old, my father and I moved to Onomichi City, 50 miles east from Hiroshima. He remarried at that time. My stepmother took care of me and raised me very well. I went to the elementary school there. At school, I had to have a physical checkup every 3 months. Whenever I had a physical checkup, the doctor always diagnosed me with malnutrition. Because of this reason, I was not able to play with my friends during exercise time during first and second grade of elementary school. I became healthy in third grade. When I was in sixth grade, my school teacher told us that one girl who suffered with leukemia, which was referred to as an atomic bomb disease, was folding paper cranes in a hospital in Hiroshima. There is a Japanese belief that anyone who holded 1,000 cranes was granted a wish. In order to encourage her, my school teacher asked us to hold paper cranes and send them to her school. I believe many students in Hiroshima were making similar efforts. Her name was Sadako Sasaki, but I didn't know her name at that time. Some of you may know the story about this little girl. Sadako was born on January 1943. She would have been the same age as me. She lived with her parents in the city of Hiroshima. At the time of the explosion, Sadako was at home, about 1 mile from ground zero. She lost her grandmother, but her other family members were safe. In 1949, she entered elementary school. She was very good in sports, especially running. She was always the fastest runner in her class. In November 1954, chickenpox had developed on her legs. Subsequently, she was diagnosed with leukemia and hospitalized. She started holding a paper crane to make 1,000 cranes to be granted a wish. Her friends in her school also started to called the cranes to help, and this spread to the entire Hiroshima prefecture. At that time, I also folded paper cranes and sent them to her school. Unfortunately, during her time in the hospital, her condition progressively worsened, and she died on the morning of October 25, 1955. She was only 12 years old. After her death, Sadako's friends and schoolmates published a collection of letters in order to raise funds to build a memorial to her and all of the children who had died from the effect of the atomic bomb. Students not only Hiroshima, but all over Japan responded to their request. They collected money and sent it to Sadako's classmates. In 1958, statue of Sadako holding a golden crane was unveiled in the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. It is well known as a symbol of world peace in Japan. This was my childhood. As an adult, I joined a Japanese global company and came to US in 1971. Since then, I have been outside of Japan for 49 years. I worked and lived in the US, Europe, and South America. I have lots of friends worldwide. I have 3 children, and they were born in the United States. My 2 daughters married nice young American boys, and I have 2 grandchildren now. My family also became globalized. For these reasons, I have a strong desire for world peace. On August 6 in 2005, it had been 60 years since the atomic bomb was dropped. I flew to Japan and attended the peace memorial ceremony held in Hiroshima. During my visit, I presented to the mayor of Hiroshima, Mayor Akiba, a message of a world peace from the mayor of San Diego. 80 years ago, the US and Japan entered the war. However, after the war, we became allies for the past 75 years. We must continue this relationship. We must educate people in harmony, using the unprecedented experience of US-Japan relationship as a real-world example. This is a photo of Hiroshima in August 1945. This is a photo of present-day Hiroshima. As you can see, there has been a big change. It shows humanity's great power and ability to recover. We must never let ourselves forget or repeat the atrocities in our history. I have a personal saying that I'd like to share, which is, remembering the past is committing ourselves to the future. We can't change the past, but we can change our future. It depends on us. That's why we are here today. Let's work together towards world peace for our next generation. We are all able to do something to work towards peace in our daily lives and making choices for the betterment of our children's future. I hope you now have a deep understanding why I work towards world peace. Now I'm going to ring the bell. Please join me in spirit to pray for world peace and for the earliest end of the coronavirus pandemic. Thank you for your listening.
We now join Mr. Kawamura for the annual bell ringing ceremony, live on Shelter Island. He will ring the friendship bell 7 times and pray in memoriam of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. Please join us for the next 30 seconds in a moment of silence and remembrance. Thank you, everyone. We will now hear from Dr. Akiko Mikamo. Dr. Mikamo was raised in Hiroshima by survivors of the bomb. Because of this, she was determined to contribute to world peace and humanity from a young age. Now a psychologist, as well as an executive coach and educator, Dr. Mikamo is president of San Diego Wish. She is also the author of Rising from the Ashes, a true story of survival and forgiveness from Hiroshima. Please join us in watching her pre-recorded message.
Hello from Hiroshima City. Thank you so much for attending this Zoom meeting and the ceremony of ringing the bell at 8:15 Japan time in the morning on August 6th. It is to commemorate 75 years of the freedom from nuclear wars and hoping for the eternal peace without nuclear weapons. I am in Hiroshima City right now, and I apologize. I won't be able to join Mr. Kamura and Mr. Sigafus at the site. I am here because the film 8:15, it's a documentary film, has just opened at the theater in Hiroshima this past weekend. And I'm here to do stage appearance and also helping everybody to understand what we need to do in educating the young generation and as a community to hold hands together despite all the differences. So that's why I'm in Japan and Hiroshima City specifically, and I cannot join you. But thank you so much for taking time and joining San Diego Wish World Peace Ceremony, Gonging of the Bell, in collaboration with San Diego-Yokohama Sister City Society, and also Carlsbad and Futsu City Sister City Society. And thank you very much for all the people who have come together one way or another, either on the internet or on the site or at home, to really reflect on the peace and what it means to us. What do we need to do as a person? This is a very important time. So we would like to continue as San Diego Wish our efforts in peace education and bringing awareness to the community, how important it is to hold hands and work together, especially in this time of challenge with COVID-19, that I don't think any of us had imagined that 2020 will be like this. But what we can learn from the past, as Mr. Kamura says, that we need to remember and learn from the past to be able to handle things and better the humanity for the future. I just heard Professor Gar Alvarez, who wrote a famous book called Decision to Use the Atomic Bomb, that it is a extensively researched social studies, political science book. And he just said on the seminar, Hiroshima is not about the past. It is about the future. If we don't remember Hiroshima and learn from it, that we are not going to have a future. The doomsday clock is 20 seconds to the midnight right now. It's the closest to the midnight since the creation. And so all of us need to be very, very aware and be very resilient and adaptive. Personally, I think the challenges with the radiation and COVID-19 and other viruses have something in common. Of course, the era is different and it's a very different thing. However, the common thing is invisible threat. We cannot see radiation and we cannot see viruses. So we are threatened by something that we cannot see that could take our lives away or our loved ones' lives away. And that is a real crisis. And we need to really come together and we need to talk with each other, communicate with one another, and see what we can do for ourselves and for our family and for the community. This is the time that we need to really put our learning into practice and get through this. I don't think the virus is going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It is really challenging. It will continue to be challenging until the vaccine is completely available for everybody, which is going to be a while. So some of us are impatient, but this is the time that we really need to work together. So this poster in my background is the documentary film 815. And this is based on my book, originally written in 2013 in English as Rising from the Ashes, Survival, a True Story of Survival and Forgiveness from Hiroshima. And now a German version, the newest, the 6th language version just came out last week on July 29th. So we have English version and Japanese, Italian, Spanish, and Polish, and now German edition. And I published the newer version of English one, and title is new, it's 815. And this documentary film is based on the book. It's about my father and his father's experiences and resiliency and how he raised me and what message he is sending to the world. So I would like to share the trailer of the film and I'll come back.
私は三上真嗣と申します。 心というのはね。
We heard their screams. We tasted the ash. It was hell on earth.
もう何歩苦しゅうてもいとうても生きるという望みを捨てたらダメだ。お父さんがおらんかったらそれはそこで死んどるだろうね。許す心を成し遂げたらみんなが平和になりますよね。
So this film is made in the United States. A wonderful team of brilliant professionals in New York put together this film with the help of a crew in Japan when we did the Hiroshima location and studio shootings. And the rest was shot in New York in the studio and as a location shoot. And when I worked with younger professionals in New York, they're all in 30s. And they said, wow, I didn't know people under that mushroom cloud survived and had such agony and pain afterwards. I thought everybody just vanished. It is amazing this main character is your father and how you could be existing here. It's just really mind-boggling. And they all said it's extremely meaningful for us to be a part of this project. This film needs to go out to the world. Everybody needs to learn from this. So that's why I wanted to share the trailer with you. And it's not available on the internet or DVD or Blu-ray yet, because we are submitting this to the international film festivals. And we just decided to screen it at the theater as a limited opportunity for the 75th anniversaries of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So this is being screened for 3 weeks in Hiroshima only for now. And eventually that it will be screened in other cities and other countries, and it will be available on the internet and on Blu-rays, hopefully next year. And I will keep you posted. So I really would like to thank all of you again for joining us. And please support San Diego Wish and Yokohama and San Diego Sister Society and Carlsbad Futsu Sister Society. And we'll come back next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. And we're sorry about the technical issues. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to host this event. Thank you so much to San Diego Wish, Mr. Kawamura, Dr. Mikamo, and other community organizations who helped make this happen. And a huge thank you to all our viewers for your time and attendance. This concludes our program for the 11th Annual San Diego Wish Peace and Humanity Day ceremony. Let's take what we have learned and felt today and create greater peace and understanding for future generations. Please stay safe during this pandemic and approach the world with open hearts and minds.